Have you ever had a dream that you had
Osama bin Laden?
I am.
By winning.
Hordes of Asian people.
Her moral compass is broken. Can you not do that, please? What are you doing? That was pretty badass.
What is this?
Did you do anything?
Though Chris's trial had concluded, he remained depressed, isolated, and increasingly paranoid. Hey, damn trolls, cyberbullies, and people all around the fucking world. Quit hating me.
You bastards.
Quit discriminating me.
Beep.
Quit harassing me.
Shower with as much hate as possible.
Quit giving me grief.
Come on, you son of a bitch.
Quit wanting me dead.
You.
Quit bad-mouthing me.
You're a freak.
Quit photographing and photoshopping me.
That
Quit drawing me.
is Megan.
Quit mocking me.
Oh, look at me, I'm a troll.
Quit making me look stupid, dumb, retarded,
I'm retarded.
evil, villainous,
Show my thanks.
bloodthirsty, murderous,
Stand by.
unsociable, uncaring, unempathetic, uncompassionate,
Give me a break. Just to move on. Damn homo.
hateable, detestable, irritable,
Now.
crapped on,
You're the shitheads.
etc.,
Rot.
etc.,
In
fucking etc.
hell.
Quit making me miserable, depressed, lonely, sad, and hateful of my own life. Just quit it and leave me and my life alone and to be. Chris's life had become so unbearable that he took his Megatron G1 action figure in gun mode, pointed it at his head, and pulled the trigger, symbolically committing suicide. On August 27th, Chris wrote of his troubles on Facebook. I did not want to sound like a cry in the bucket by repeating myself with how I feel emotionally. I'm still feeling low. I'm unable to get out of the house aside from bringing home food and running errands. I have my responsibilities. I'm never going to run away or deny it. But the multiple stress inputs, past and present, seriously get to me emotionally and mentally. And no woman is contacting or replying to me and my paid membership on eHarmony. Constant boredom and loneliness is daily to me, and all I can do is wait with low faith in the future. I wish I could travel back to 1999 and make me and my family stay in Midlothian to change my future for the better. How is this my life? Chris confessed that he felt his intelligence was regressing. The old grey matter ain't what it used to be. I have been feeling more retarded lately. I seriously feel and sense it in my head. My stress from the unabridged chaos in my life is taking its toll. On September 11th, Chris reminisced about his father. It has been over a year now since my father passed. Hard to believe. I have felt more and more stress since I've had to take on more duties around the house and all. The stress is killing me with loud belches that just sound unnatural and mental griefs. 2012 ended on a low note. My New Year's resolutions for years has been to find a woman friend and make her into my sweetheart from the ground up. Sadly, that still is long overdue to be done, and I've been mostly feeling depressed, stressed, and paranoid, so I do not really have any new resolutions at all. In early January, Chris emailed LoveYouLongTime to share his ongoing struggles with trolls. They continue talking ill about me on the internet. Googling my name still results in over 2,800,000 negative pages, images, etc. Pranksters still come over and egg our home and vehicles, and what makes me feel most paranoid of people, in addition to not being able to separate the single women from those taken by the majority of the male population, but anyone, including and especially the police around here, can be and are the trolls who continue to haunt me and my dreams. In March, Chris was featured on MTV's Failosophy.
Who do you date? Who do you room with? Who do you call the cops on?
I'm gonna date the guy who has his penis in the weird thing.
You date him? Didn't say that.
He's the most womanly, and he looks like he was on Lost.
Definitely put that guy in jail because that's a really ugly couch in the background.
Oh, that was the reason.
Chris was disheartened by the panelists' reaction. From the one woman's words, Jamie Lee. I don't know what is worse, that she would not date me or that she would put me in jail over a freaking couch. Lee, my once good name, was actually jailed because of the setups, those anonymous, lolsy, shit-faced trolls. Chris's hatred for the gameplace intensified throughout early 2013. It truly is the breeding and meeting place for trolls and cyberbullies. Long before October 2007, there were very few people who would have anything on me personally, worldwide, because those people only existed locally to me and with constant in-person communication with me. Those people only existed at the place. And the very first person who turned troll against me is none other than Megan Schroeder. She conscripted Snyder, Mims, and everyone else against me. And when my family as I started getting close with identifying them as our perpetrators and the prime trolls, Snyder was looking for a reason to ban me, and so he did. Megan Schroeder is the prime queen of the trolls. The place is truly a troll cyberbully breeding and meeting place, and I never, forever, want anything to do with it. The place should definitely be destroyed and shut down for good. And I want to exact my fullest revenge and divine retribution with Megan Schroeder. She should be jailed and that vile, wicked, traitorous bitch. I can blame that son of a bitch Michael Snyder for taking and wasting the money that my mum and I had gotten from my father's passing because he had to go send us to court for all the goddamn shit of his. Michael Snyder is a bastard to me and my mother for taking us to court. He essentially stole a lot of money from us indirectly. On September 2nd, Chris was banned from a nearby Walmart after vandalizing an Xbox sign. He complained on Facebook about the manager and included her full name and email in his rant, asking his friends to send her messages, demanding that she never mess with an autistic person when they are depressed or angry. When a Facebook friend tried to discourage Chris from giving out someone's personal information, he blamed his actions on the trolls. If it had not been for Mr. Manajerk, Megan Schroeder, and their internet trolls, cyberbully breeding and meeting ground, Seville's hobbies, games and toys, my family and I would not have had go through all of the emotionally depressing and financial downfall to the depths of greatly poor and just getting by. The Manajerk has drained us financially, thinking we are freaking rich, and Megan has robbed me emotionally, started all of the hate against me on the freaking internet, never financially paid me back for all of the material favors I bought for her off of eBay. And I want my uncut Sailor Moon DVDs from seasons R to Sailor Star, that German warfare bitch conned from me, returned to me. On September 7th, Chris found himself in trouble with the law once more. God is giving me the middle finger yet again. I backed up and scratched a car in El Agave lot, and she's a damn smoker. Now the damn jerk-op is giving me a hard time because I'm screaming up at freaking Emmanuel God. I want God to just me now if he's going to keep giving me middle fingers and a damned difficult life. In an act of revenge, Chris banned all police from the city of Quickville, though he hadn't written any new Sonichu comics in over 3 years. Chris continued to obsess over Megan Schroeder through September. He demonstrated how he would use voodoo-style punishment against Megan, Mary Lee Walsh, and Michael Snyder using Lego minifigures. Megan Schroeder, you ungrateful bitch! Quit hiding behind the Anons, trolls, place people, and every damned person who you've deceived into siding with you. By the way, I've checked with Magagi the skunk. She feels deep distrust in you. We mutually agree that you should have never been born, even if it meant she would never exist. Also, your Sailor Megtune powers. I created them for you. I have taken them away from you. Usagi and the Sailor Scouts would have been most ashamed of you. You need to pay me what you greatly owe me for destroying me. And if not for you and your army stressing us out, my father would still be alive today. Face me in person and settle our long-heated rivalry and domestic hatred now. And by the way, I pray you have been having really bad luck, feeling paranoid of everyone, and shakingly stressed because I continue to leave your minifigure upside down and shaken with the witch and the bastard. And I've been feeling the very same grave emotions myself for the 6 long years, you damn dirty bitch. I will only forgive Megan and remove all curses upon her when she apologizes to me in person and face to face. When the quickie, its forum, and everything against me on the freaking internet is gone, gone, gone. When I'm not banned from anywhere, and when I get my original uncut Sailor Moon DVDs returned to me, when my good name is cleared of all the bad, and when I have my female sweetheart for forever. And I'm not stepping down beforehand. After months of rage, someone claiming to be Megan finally emailed Chris. I didn't conspire to destroy your life. You did that enough on your own, with your ridiculous webcomic and your war against ED. As for the touching thing, I don't like being touched by men who aren't in a relationship with me. And all those things you did for me, I thought you did that because we were friends, and I was grateful. Do you know how much of your crap I put up with? The touching, the rants, the being creepy, all that. You were already an internet phenomenon long before I ever came into the picture. I never set up that ED page. It wasn't me who told Mims and Lucas to do stuff. I didn't get you banned from the store, and I sure as hell am not responsible for the death of your father. Do you know how bad that picture made me feel? It scared the hell out of me. Throughout this period, Chris wished to reconnect with his high school gal pals, particularly Tiffany, who danced with him at prom. In August 2013, Chris took it upon himself to plan a 15th annual high school reunion. He created flyers and contacted anyone he could find over Facebook. On October 18th, Chris and his pastoral counselor, Rocky Shoemaker, went to McDonald's to film a tour of Chris's replica Lego high school.
Hello, my name is Christian Weston Chandler, Ruckersville, Virginia, and I'm here to present something very fantastical that I have worked over 30 hours on, from October 18th to October 25th, 2013. This lovely high school. Stud to stud size scale replica of what is seen in the 3rd episode of the LEGO Friends series dedicated to the high school I went to, Manchester High. Go Lancers. I'm gonna put it back onto me now. Anyway, so now we're gonna take a tour of the inside of this. What did I just knock over? And what did I just? Oh well, no problem. I'll collect the pieces later. Anyway, welcome to this high school. We got expensive hallways and staircases. There's the cafeteria. And here's the lunch table. Pretty much which I used to sit with my high school gal pals, Tiffany and Sarah. And I'm always taking my place right there for the moment. And here's my original minifigure. Taking the class with other gal pal Miranda right there. And right here, you can call this a study hall or detention, but a certain someone from my more recent years is in detention at the moment. There's the principal, the infomaniac from Lego Island. And there's my dad, negotiating with the principal. Because that's one way to make friends in high school, negotiation. Yep. Thank you very much, and have a good day.
Shortly after uploading the video to YouTube, Chris began receiving messages from individuals pretending to be his high school gal pals. Chris shared one particularly hurtful email with his Facebook friends. I let Christian hang out with us mainly because we felt sorry for him. He sort of latched onto us like he expected us to protect him. He was like a lost little boy. Sometimes I think he saw us as sort of mother figures, which seems a little creepy now, but Christian seemed harmless enough back then, and we didn't mind him hanging out with us. As far as socializing goes, we didn't really hang with him outside of school, except for the time we went to his 18th birthday party. I'm also really creeped out that he's still obsessed with and he's actively looking for her. She is well aware of this, and she's taken steps to make sure that she's very hard, if not impossible, to find. A lot of people became friends with Christian because of the reunion, and also because a lot of them still felt sorry for him. Some people are having second thoughts though, after seeing that awful picture he drew of his friend. A lot of people stopped feeling sorry for him and started ignoring him after they saw that. I was shocked that he could draw something so gross and depraved. The thumbs up sign really pissed me off for some reason. The whole thing was very sexist, disrespectful, and above all, damn creepy. Chris defended his desire to locate Tiffany in an email to one of his gal pals. I mean, seriously, the source of my heartaches is just too obvious. Tiffany and Sarah turned troll and against me, regardless of being hired help. I had long thought of them as my best and closest friend from high school. The solution to my heartaches is as plain as day and night. I want my friends back. They need a good talking to get their heads straightened out and whatnot. Unfortunately, I'm just too emotionally weak to talk to them, and they won't listen to me anyway. Those women need to understand that the lack of their friendship is killing me. On December 11th, a second house tour video was leaked onto the internet by Alec Benson Leary. It's unclear when it was filmed, but Chris's narration suggests it was after the death of his father. The state of the Chandler home has deteriorated even further thanks to Barbara's hoarding.
Yep. So freaking cluttered in here. In this house.
Kitchen, very much locked off all over, with the Resident Evil refrigerator right there. I use the term Resident Evil because in Japan, Resident Evil video game is called Biohazard. That's as much of the living room as you can see above this block, which essentially consists of 2 couches, hardly been used. Footway through this narrow hallway, upstairs bathroom with bathtub and shower. Pretty much hasn't changed since the trolls first saw it. And this is my room, obviously. A lot more cleaner than it is now. A lot more cleaner than the rest of the house, actually, right now. Couch under that pile. I'll make the bed shortly after. So yeah, I'm not too proud of the state of the house.
On December 15th, Chris reiterated his hatred of men to a gal pal over email. I have a personal hatred for 99% of the worldwide population of my own gender. I often even find myself disgusted at my own penis, as well as thinking, I wish I was born female, with the possibility of being a lesbian, or something like that. I find the males most ugly, offensive, horrendous, crazy, creepy, and all that shit. Most of the damn trolls are damn homosexual males. I really loathe them, especially when they push their damn lifestyle into my face. And even just imagining it makes me throw up. I am most definitely straight, and I take great offense when anyone dares mislabel me otherwise. It pisses me off. I also often ask myself, in this dead end of a life, in a cluttered house with my mother, without a sweetheart, in over our heads in debt, how is this my life? The Chandlers were beginning to face serious financial hardship. As a way to relieve some of their debt, Chris sold off his collection of 56 DVDs for a non-negotiable price of $1,000. But financial stress was only the beginning of their problems.
Greene County investigators are looking into the cause of a house fire early this morning. It started at about 3 o'clock this morning at a home on Branchland Court. That's in the southern part of the county. We're told the fire started in a first-floor bathroom, but got quickly out of control and eventually shot through the roof. Everybody inside was able to get out safely, but one firefighter suffered minor injuries. The cause of the fire is still under investigation.
On January 10th, a fire broke out at the Chandler household. According to Chris, the fire was triggered by an extension cord connected to an outlet in the bathroom. Chris was using the cord to operate a Keurig coffee maker. Chris called 911 at 2:44 a.m., with fire personnel arriving 15 minutes later. Firefighters were unable to enter through the front door due to the massive amounts of clutter and had to break through windows in order to put out the fire, costing them valuable time. Chris and Barbara, along with their pets, Clover, Snoopy, and Lucy, escaped unharmed. Sadly, their other cat, Scamper, passed away from smoke inhalation. At 5:22, Chris informed his Facebook friends about the ordeal, lamenting the many possessions that would be lost. By 7, the fire was extinguished. The exterior of the house was largely intact, though some of the paneling was warped due to the heat, and the roof required a covering. Chris and Barb were allowed to return the following day to retrieve any salvageable belongings. Chris took photos, sharing the damage to his Lego high school. His Sonichu drawings and comics were unharmed, along with his gaming consoles and electronics. It was determined that the repairs would take months before their home was livable, so the Chandlers were moved into a rental home, covered by their insurance. Chris asked for donations on Facebook in the form of gift cards and clothing. On January 29th, he received a large box of donations provided through a fundraiser, organised by the Quickie Forum's administrator, Josh Moon, also known as Null. They provided a number of necessities and included a letter addressed to Chris. Your Sonichu friends have heard about the house fire, and to help you out, we put together a care package as quick as we could. In a few days, 34 donated and collected over $900 towards getting this stuff out to you. Since your bathroom is where it all started, I focused on buying toiletries and hygienic stuff to keep you clean and healthy as you recover from the damages. I could not spend all of the money collected, so I've included a money order for $500 that you could give to your mother. She can cash it out and buy whatever you guys need to keep chugging. Don't forget to get something nice for your pets too. I know you often feel that life is hopeless, but there's good in the world and in people. I hope this package helps you see that. No person on the internet can ever take away your right to be happy. You must find reasons to enjoy life, even when there are enemies trying to bring you down. I've included some arts and crafts to help you take your mind off things. I think your fans would really like to see what you come up with, because it's been a very long time since we've seen anything new from you. Try to create something that makes you happy, and that you can be proud of. Good luck with everything, Chris. Keep hate out of your heart, and look forward to each day. We will be around if you need us. After examining the money order, the Chandlers believed there was an error that would prevent them from cashing the check. Hey Dodo Brain, thanks a lump. You did not sign the front of the money order that came in the big box. The bank is unable to do anything with it. Contact your bank or make out a new thing and US mail it to our home address at Branchland Court. They eventually realized that the money order was pre-signed, and Chris rescinded his last comment. Scratch my recent post. The big box of stuff Daniel Mims has informed me about has just been delivered to me and my mother. She got really excited. Big thank you to everyone involved in that care package. The damn Quickie site still needs Gravely to be removed for forever. In February, Chris created an abstract sculpture out of warped, fire-damaged Lego pieces. He spent his 32nd birthday rebuilding his Lego high school replica and watching the Back to the Future trilogy. In early March, Chris was caught shoplifting at Best Buy, according to a thread on the Quickie forums. Supposedly, he was grabbing items off the shelves and shoving it up his shirt. A security guard approached Chris, and he dropped everything before bolting out the door. Chris confirms that he was shopping at Best Buy, but denied the accusations of theft. In May, Chris asked his online followers for more donations, specifying that he would like either cash or gift cards for iTunes, Toys R Us, GameStop, Best Buy or McDonald's, among other fast food restaurants. He also provided a wish list of 36 Lego minifigures, as well as 76 Lego sets. As the Chandlers' financial situation worsened, Chris started selling items on eBay, including many of Bob's surviving possessions. On June 1st, Chris opened an auction on eBay for an original laminated Sonichu and Rosechu drawing. Chris let his Facebook friends know about the new listing, making it clear that Rosechu is 100% female. The Raichu tail is female, just as the Rosechu that transformed from the original female Raichu has always been and will always be Virginia, ovaries, C-cup milking breasts with tits and all. The listing drew the attention of online trolls, who flooded the auction with large bids that they had no intention of paying. Within 48 hours, the bidding had reached $13,000 before being removed by eBay. Chris relisted the drawing the following day. This too received a large number of fake bids, reaching over $15,000 before the item was removed. This pattern continued over the next few weeks, with Chris growing more and more frustrated as trolls thwarted his efforts to sell artwork through eBay. With eBay constantly removing my listing for this same singular artwork 4 times the past week, and the offer maker who offered $1,000 on the last listing totally bailed, I'm super frustrated, and I'm just set on $1,000 or bust on this same drawing, what my venture with it having been really too much. And my mother and I really need the money. Please buy and pay in full now. After Chris's 5th attempt, eBay temporarily suspended his account for repeated TOS violations. When his ban ended, Chris relisted his drawing for a 6th time, leading to a 2nd suspension. Ugh, Persephone, fuck me. The listing got removed, again. On July 1st, exactly 1 month after his first listing, Chris sold his artwork for $200 to an anonymous buyer. Due to the attention Chris's drawing received, he began selling commissioned artwork, autograph photos, and replica Sonichu medallions. Though he made several $1,000s in sales over the next few months, it wasn't enough to keep up with the Chandler's expenses. Please help us here. I'm serious about it. Plus, my mother and I have bills to pay, and we need the money for real. Now, I even do not have the money to ship my more recent orders. I did raise over 2 Gs last month, but that money was spent on bills, the printer ink cartridges, shipping all of the orders from the past month, some Lego, and food for my family. So don't give me doubt about my honesty. One of Chris's Facebook friends suggested that he avoid buying Lego and other toys until he was able to afford it. Chris never replied. According to one leaked DM, Chris intended on spending a quarter of his profits on new Lego sets.
You freaking pricks! When will you learn that your actions have consequences?
It's called the Fire Challenge.
Please notice me, senpai.
Binders full of women.
How many of you have autism?
Look at all those chickens!
Ain't nobody got time for that.
I'm so pale.
Bash.
How do you handle it? I mean, where
You think you're going, baby?
You even live, bro?
I volunteer as tribute.
How it feels to chew 5 gum.
That's because Jesus Christ is man.
Unless you have something nice to say.
Nice.
Open Gangnam Style.
What does the fuck say?
It's all arrogant now.
On April 14th, Chris discovered a new ability and shared it with LoveYouLongTime over email. I have just randomly done something that would normally be useless and trivial, and it would be something that would be more often done in a dream. But I actually did it, and I felt like I wanted to tell someone who would keep it confidential and possibly be interested. Right now, I'm telling only you in confidence. Warning, it is obscene, and I mean no offense. I've reached from behind and under and pulled my penis and literally stretched it to being wedged between the middle of my butt crack. I could push the head into the hole, but it was really smelly there, and I've just bathed. And while stretched, the balls can remain tucked in. And I can walk like this. It is that long. And to take a cocky opportunity, you and a lot of women around here and wherever, not counting the Cherokee women, are really missing out. Thank you for listening and keeping it confidential. On second thought, I give you permission to only tell other women about it, only if you feel it valid for the conversation. LoveYouLongTime mentioned that some of her transgender friends used the same trick, and Chris was interested if they had any other secret techniques for attracting women. During May, Chris asked for help finding matches on OkCupid. When LoveYouLongTime suggested matching with one particular woman, Chris objected. I've noticed your input to a woman in Rustburg. As much as it is appreciated, Rustburg is too far from here. She is only a 71% match, and she is quite overweight to the point of, no offense, being too much and unappealing. LoveYouLongTime pointed out Chris's hypocrisy. Chris, you shouldn't turn people down because of appearance when you're not a skinny mini yourself. Keep your mind open and a lot more doors will open for you. Chris found her message deeply offensive. I I took your first paragraph as an inclination towards the simplified, you're fat. I'm not fat, and I'm not attracted to fat people. So please do not pair me up with the obese, and please do not inkling towards calling me fat or overweight. I feel compelled to tell the short story I made up just now, based on the Lego ice cream truck set. The fitness fanatic included is you. She says, oh, I'm a fitness fanatic. I insult everyone else who is even a millimeter wider than I am. I came with an ice cream truck, so I will stop and eat all the ice cream I want. Nom nom nom. Wow, I am so trim like a beach ball. Scene, interior, her home. Philip, I'm home, she says as she rolls in through the door. Philip approaches and greets her. Hey, whoa, wow. Then he thinks, I could easily get crushed under that. Then he says to her, okay, bye now. Then he cartwheels out the door with a la 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 la. Then she groans sadly. Everyone else is fatter than me. She disillusions herself into believing at that moment. End. Point is, I'm still losing weight. I'm less than 200 pounds now. Please do not associate me with being fat. I sincerely apologize if I've caused any stirs in emotion in you, but I felt I needed to make the point clear as I could, as well as relay how insulted I felt with a recent association. LoveYouLongTime responded, Chris, I don't make fun of people who are wider than me, and I'm certainly not a fitness fanatic. I take care of how I look, simple as that. But you're not skinny or fit yourself, even if you're under 200 pounds, so I don't think it's fair to be turning down women you deem too big. She's not even that big, so I don't see the problem. It seems you're the one who's insulting people wider than you. All I'm saying is that, considering you've been having issues with the girls noticing you, you shouldn't be closed-minded. You're only shooting yourself in the foot if you do that. I've thought about it, and since you know how to get women better than me, I'm going to let you do your own thing. You don't need my help anymore. On July 9th, Chris matched with a woman on OkCupid named Catherine. Her profile was a 97% match, and the two began communicating privately. Obvious to everyone except Chris, she was another troll disguised as a potential sweetheart. Chris and Catherine decided they wanted to meet up for a date at Fashion Square. However, Chris was still banned from the mall. In an effort to resolve this, he sent an apology letter to the manager. Chris demanded to be unbanned immediately and asked the manager to promise that mall security would leave him alone. He sent similar letters to Walmart and Mary Lee Walsh, asking to be unbanned from all establishments. Chris later received a call from the Walmart manager, who declined his apology. Chris accused him of discriminating against not only an autistic person, but also a lesbian, trapped in a male body, and a transgender. On August 31st, after failing to have his ban from Fashion Square Mall lifted, Chris and Catherine went on a date at Applebee's. Catherine was accompanied by her cousin Al. A hidden microphone captured their encounter.
Catherine! Oh, this is my cousin Al.
Yeah, Katie, her car was in the garage, so I gave her a ride. So, yeah.
You're here.
Yeah.
Yep, I'm here.
Wasn't she with me? I'm so glad.
I'm glad to meet you as well. I like your earrings. They're very pretty.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I like your earrings too.
Oh, thank you.
This is for you.
Is this what? Oh my goodness, this is amazing. He's made me a mix CD. Put it in my purse. So it doesn't get hurt in the table.
Along with his mix CD titled 3/4 Woman, Chris brought a goodie bag, mostly containing My Little Pony themed gifts. Catherine later provided more details about their date. He kept trying to hold my hand, so I negotiated lunch like a T-Rex with stumpy little arms. Then he tried footsie under the table, and he stared at my tits a lot. I kept hoping Cousin Al would say something, but he never did. In retrospect, I should have called him out on it.
Well, I think this date's going pretty good so far.
Yeah.
I should hope so. I see you wore your top girl best today.
My best, yes.
Chris, I'm not trying to be offensive or nothing, but what's this whole tomgirl thing? I don't understand.
Essentially where I'm, it's like tomboy, where women are interested in boyish things and high activity. I'm into more feminine things.
So you're like a cross-dresser then? Or?
Yes, you can call me I accepted that term. I'm a lesbian, tomgirl, transgender male. So I'm 3/4 woman.
They certainly have a unique fashion sense, I'll say that. So
yeah, I like wearing bold colors.
So Katie, how did you and Chris meet?
Oh, that's right. I haven't told you yet.
Yeah.
We met on a dating site.
Okay, Cupid. Very well. Hooking up emotionally and everything, right?
You seem pretty excited about it. You said you were hopping all over your house.
Not over, but I did jump up and down.
Yeah?
It all comes to fruition.
You said you were scared and responding.
Oh yeah, because of the internet trolls and cyberboys. I've had a lot of bad experiences with them. It definitely has gone downhill for me. I became more paranoid of people now.
Yeah.
They're all stereotypically stuck in the basements of their house with their mother and with their parents being all overweight or whatever, yelling, shouting at them and everything. When they got all their high-tech equipment set up. I've actually met a few of them in person. Once or twice.
How did that happen?
Well, one of them was kind of like a setup where I thought I was going to make a new girlfriend there. My father went with me that one time, but it turns out there was a camera recording and hiding from somewhere else, recording everything that was going on that conversation.
Oh. Really?
Yeah, and then this other guy came in dressed in a pickle costume.
A pickle costume?
And you know, Michael Snyder, the Game and Hobby place, I had been banned from there because Michael Hayden McGuss, April 2008, and he was definitely a total asshole.
How was he an asshole to you?
He was just very mean, uncaring. He wouldn't even give consideration when I went in one time before that just asking him, is it okay? Everything's past everything. And he's like, no. And he wanted to call the police on evidence, so I left.
And then you said you got arrested in 2011?
Yeah, because it was a trap essentially. And he had the police on call ready right there. Had the people at the Staples store to be like witnesses and everything. And Mom and I, we tried to make our escape, but they wouldn't. But nobody would let us. And then, like, Snyder paid the police to beat the crap out of them and arrest them, something like that. And then we went to the and just
so he bribed the cops.
Yeah.
Why would he do that? Why would he hate you so?
Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday. Well, how did you find out that he bribed the cops? Did it tell you?
Yeah, well, pretty much. My mom figured it out essentially, and you know, it's like too common sense to put two and two together. And he figured that he would profit from me and my mother. He thought we were rich, but we were not so rich. We ended up losing a lot of money we had that Mr. C, my father, had left us, and paying the court lawyer fees. My father, as old as he was, he died September of 2011, 2 midnights and a quarter hour later, after he turned 84. Yeah, heart problems.
That must have sucked.
Yeah. Oh, this is my father's wedding ring, by the way.
Oh,
yeah.
I didn't know that.
I've been hanging on to it since he passed away.
So what are your goals, plans, whatever? You guys gonna get married or what?
Well, we might.
Might do one day. It's going pretty well so far.
Yeah, I think it would probably be together more often, I hope. But that's up to you, though. When you feel ready to get married, I'll be there by your side at the chapel.
I should hope so.
Me too. And I'm still in full support of who you are as well. Remember?
Yeah, the
open relationship.
So you got open relationship?
I'll fully support her. You know her's a bi. I'm sure. I mean, I don't want to go too much into that. It sounds a little bit embarrassing. Just
Chris, you love her, right?
Yes, I do. I care about her.
So why would you be okay with her having sex with other men?
Well,
I mean, that's a fair question.
It's a fair question, yes. It's more like if I can't satisfy her, if she feels lack of satisfaction, I made very clear for her that our relationship would be honest and loyal to each other. So
that have you had relationships like that then, where you've been kept distance?
Well, I haven't had too many relationships really, but yeah, there was one where there's one girl definitely wanted me to keep my distance from her. She thought I was getting too close to her. That's where I learned how to how to keep my hands to myself for a while.
Yeah. But suppose you feel very strongly about respecting those boundaries.
Oh yes, I do.
Yeah. Oh, I did mean to ask. How's your I remember you were having some trouble with your landlord.
Are you guys like remodeling then or something?
Oh no, we had a house fire last January.
Oh, that sucks, man. Hey, I'm sorry to hear, dude.
Thank you.
Sucks. Yeah.
I had just plugged in the coffee brewer Kruger Keurig brand. Yeah. Yeah, anyway, the plugged into a extension cord that was going into the bathroom. The maker was outside on the top of a dresser in the hallway. So everything was cluttered, and my mom, being as impulsive as she was at Goodwill sometimes, that didn't help much either. But now it's like God told us, "Hey, Barbara, I'll make it easier for you. There you go, fire. Get out of the house. You go say what you are able to, and they'll take care of it."
Wait, who said that?
My mom came up with this. It's like God was telling her, "Hey, Barbara, I'll make it easy for you."
So your mother thinks that God was telling her to move out of the house, so God burnt it down? Is that what she believes?
That's one idea she has. Yeah, because she was concerned about all that clutter as well. Didn't know where to put it.
I guess is that how she's coping?
That's one way she's coping. She's coping in a lot of ways in her head.
Be really attached to her.
Yeah, but it's not like Bates Motel or anything like that.
We've got to go back to the mechanics.
It's
what time?
It's 10 after 3.
It's 10 after 3. Yeah, they close at 4:30.
Okay, well we'll wrap it up here in a few minutes. So
okay, well I'll follow y'all.
It's a pretty long way to the mechanics.
Yeah, it's near my place. He's gonna drop me off, and then he's got to go back home for work. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm really sorry.
Hoping to delay their separation, Chris offered to show Catherine his home, still damaged by the fire.
The way you were talking, it didn't sound like the damage was all that bad. It just needed a new roof, but it looks like there's a lot more damage. You must be... that must have been devastating.
Yeah, it was devastating, but at least we all got out safe.
Yeah.
How long ago was the fire again?
It was last January on the 10th.
So it's been, what, like 7, 8 months?
Yeah. It happened at like 2 a.m. Dogs woke me up, and I saw the fire. I was like, oh my God, fire.
So, shit. So you just ran out of the house then?
Well, couldn't think of that initially, but I called 911. They advised us to get out of the house. My mom tried to put out the fire with the extinguisher. You have a second one. She would have won that battle.
Probably not good.
You've got a little gazebo back here.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Hey, Chris, what's this?
That's the workshop.
Well, what's it say here out front?
Oh, that's the memory of my father here. That's just, it was me and my father's dreaming studio.
Hey, Katie, come take a look at this. So what did you and your father do here?
We ended up building a few things in there. Since after we stopped using it, we've essentially been using it for storage for a number of our things.
Your father set that up?
Yeah.
Let me see.
He enjoyed records.
Yes, it's very beautiful.
Like I say, it was a real record case. Thousands of records.
So those are all your father's?
Yeah, they all were his.
So have they just been sitting out there then since he passed away?
Yeah. Yeah, we're thinking about either donating them or selling them.
Chris managed to keep Catherine around a little bit longer by allowing her to visit his rental home.
Hello.
Howdy.
Hi, Snoopy. Hi, Clover. Hi, Mom.
Howdy.
Barbara, this here.
Nice to meet you.
That's Catherine and her cousin Al.
Glad to meet you. I'm Big Al.
Very lovely to
It seemed pretty loud. But,
yeah, they get loud when there's new people.
Oh, cool. Dude, is this your room?
Yeah, that's my work room.
Can I go in for a moment?
Yeah, sure. Hey now, doggies, calm down. It's good.
So what is all this then?
Yeah, pretty much just random things, but that's the high school I built based on the one from Hard Lake High, dedicated building that to Manchester High. It took me about a month to build that.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, see, Chris, that's dedication right there.
Yeah.
With your comics and stuff, you can do the same thing. If you can be dedicated, like if you can work on that for a month, you can spend a month working on a comic book.
Anyway, I built this house on multiple houses. And here's our minifigs. Me and Catherine.
Aww.
Is that me? Oh, it's even tinier than I thought. Oh, that's so cute.
What's that around her neck? Is that like a little medallion? Or?
Yeah, Sonichu and Rosechu medallion. Only my girlfriend eventually would get them.
Oh, cool.
Wow, you've got a lot of Lego. I didn't realize you had that much.
So it's your TV then?
It's a 3D TV from Sony PlayStation.
Dude, you got a lot of PS3 games.
Yeah.
Did these survive the fire? Or did you get these afterwards?
Every last one.
Oh, that's fortunate.
Well, that's good, yeah.
Oh, hi, baby girl.
You like these so cute. I'm sure they'll get used to me eventually.
Yeah. Don't be clever than Catherine. Katie, you saw her picture?
Showed your dog my picture. That's so cute.
Yeah. Yeah, we got separate pee and poo on the paper.
Yeah,
on the black thing.
To stand on it.
Yeah.
It's awfully inconvenient to take them outside and have to pick it up. I'd rather have it inside, pick it up.
Well, yeah, then it's closer so you can clean it up without going as far with it, really.
72 years old, I don't.
Fair enough.
Well, certainly, Christian seems like a pretty good son. He was talking about how he helps you out around the house and all. And
oh
such.
my gosh.
Yeah.
I couldn't survive without him.
Yeah. Well, I hope he takes care of Katie just as well. So.
I'm fairly confident I will. I've had practice.
So.
He's had a lot of practice. His father died 3 years ago.
I know, we heard him.
Yeah.
Terribly sorry.
Sorry, I apologize for your loss. That's gonna suck.
Yeah,
So.
you never get over it. It wasn't easy to get along.
Snoopy, calm down. Yeah. Oh, I told Mom about how you have a lot of interesting stories from your travels in the European British areas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Margaret, tell her something about the Western name or something.
Over 400 years ago, the king declared the name Weston to be part of England's royalty forever.
Wow.
We are blood kin to every blood Weston in the world.
I still don't know the missing link between Richard Weston and Mary Boleyn.
Well, Weston's not exactly an uncommon name in Britain.
Oh yeah, and now we're thinking ahead. I did mention to her that I promised you our first daughter would have the middle name Weston.
Yeah.
So we continue that tradition and royalty.
Okay. Well, we'll let you go now.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you for having me back.
See us.
Yep. Nice place. Nice place y'all got here. So.
Over that.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, Catherine, before you go.
Yeah.
Wanted to let you know what am I doing in a place like this? Waiting for the most honest, true, and awesome woman to come around in my life.
Oh my God, you're so sweet.
I've had that in my head for a long time since I
sneeze again. Sorry.
At this point, Chris leaned in to kiss Catherine goodbye, so she acted as though a sneeze was coming on.
Sorry, we've got to get going, or I need to get my things back.
Hopefully, Katie, you know where we are. You can come over yourself if you feel like it.
Yeah,
okay.
I'd let you know, obviously. I wouldn't just turn up. That would be sort of rude.
Yeah, that's understandable.
Okay, well, anyway, it was nice meeting.
After their successful date, Chris changed his Facebook status to in a relationship. On September 14th, Chris attended a Pride festival at Lee Park in downtown Charlottesville. He planned on meeting up with Catherine at the parade, but she had car troubles and pulled out at the last minute. I was at the Pride festival today, and I really felt accepted and liked among the LGBT community, like I do belong there as the lesbian transgender that I am. And a lot of real women there showed me kindness and respect. A few days later, Chris made the decision to get a new piercing. He tried to keep this from the public, but a Facebook message between himself and Kim Wilson was leaked soon afterwards, and Chris was forced to address the rumor. I had something done to me that is radical, that I did for my lesbian soul. I got a new piercing on my taint on Monday the 15th, about where my clitoris would be if I was a woman. It is a short, steel, straight piece with steel spheres, of which I refer to them as my Un-clit. I'm tending to its cleaning personally in daily baths or showers, as well as cleaning the area with rubbing alcohol twice daily. I, Christian Weston Chandler, with no other outside opinions from anyone, have long been thinking about getting a piercing on my taint, with a steel sphere where my clitoris would have been if I was born female, in my sole identity as a female and a lesbian, as a fair substitute for that, and to stimulate the woman's clitoris via scissoring, years ago after watching the lesbian couple tribbing each other in the softcore movie The Key to Sex. And to make sure everyone understands once and for all, I am a female lesbian soul trapped in a male body. Or, to put it another way, I am a lesbian transgender. I am seriously into women. Males offend me. Even my own penis totally grosses me out. I am glad that I tuck it underneath my taint so I do not have to look down at the ugly bulge. I have come out as the lesbian transgender that I always have been and ever will. And for every one of you sods who continue to mislabel me as a homosexual male or hint towards anything of that, even in distasteful jest, you can all kiss my vagina of my soul. On September 20th, Chris emailed Catherine with ideas for their first sexual encounter, mentioning that he had prototyped a strap-on that would keep his genitals hidden while they were tribbing. The design ultimately failed. Chris attempted to use the dildo part of his strap-on, wrapping it in a washcloth before inserting it into his anus to clean the crap out, but this also didn't work. Chris tried again while in the bathtub, using water as a lubricant, which did work, but was apparently more painful than pleasurable. In late September, Catherine attended a wedding in New York City. Chris was given the contact information of Shaina, a close friend of Catherine's. On September 28th, Chris emailed her inquiring about Catherine's well-being. Shaina wrote back, mentioning that she hadn't seen Catherine recently because she had gone sailing with one of the groomsmen, named Colin. Chris was concerned by this development. I pray Colin is not trying anything funny on her, even though our relationship is open. I would continue to support her for who she is and everything, but I do not know who Colin is, and I feel at unease with the risk of breaking up with me going on. I pray she doesn't fall for him or anything. Shaina replied, reassuring Chris that he had nothing to worry about because Colin was a nice guy and came from a wealthy family. This only worried Chris more. The following day, Shaina accidentally CC'd Chris in an email meant for Colin, allowing Chris to see his contact information. Chris promised Shaina that he wouldn't email Colin. A few hours later, Chris emailed Colin. You may or may not have heard of me from Catherine, or you don't know me. I'm Christian Weston Chandler of Ruckersville, VA, artist, crafter, and creator of Sonichu and Rosechu, the electric hedgehog Pokemon, and my city of Quickville, VA, USA, with a comic book series, websites lost to cyberbullies. I am very famous worldwide for good and bad. Anyway, Catherine and I have been getting on knowing each other, growing mutual deep emotions and fondness with mutual care and respect for over a month now. Recent events have her feeling off, and I really wish for her and mine relationship to be forever lasting. Your possible flirtatious actions and wealthy tricks with deceptions are not helpful in the situation, as I have a lot of worry and care and respect for her very much. Not only that, but I fully support her for the orientation she is, as well as the sweetest, kindest, and most true and pure soul that she is. I can only imagine that your cold, money-filled blue blood will not satisfy or fulfill her emotional needs. She and I are a great 95+% match from the over 1,000 questions we both have answered on our OkCupid profiles. You can never top that. If you have any shred of a heart or respect as a human being, I would deeply appreciate it if you would be repellent to Catherine and encourage her to stay with the one who can emotionally support her fully and utmost, me. Thank you, and I will wish you a good and safe day, for now. Colin wasn't appreciative of Chris's message and took it as a veiled threat. Shaina wasn't pleased either. Chris apologized for breaking his promise and wondered whether his heart was in the right place, or if he was dumb and retarded. Catherine insisted that nothing had happened between her and Colin, and that they were only friends. She expressed doubt that Chris could handle an open relationship. Chris and Shaina continued to email each other, discussing ideas for Halloween costumes. Shaina let slip that Catherine planned on being a dominatrix for Halloween, with Colin as her slave. She was uncomfortable with the idea, however, because Colin happened to be black. Chris was surprised, having assumed that Colin was white. In mid-2013, Chris created a new Facebook group titled Brassieres for Males to promote the use of sports bras for men. He provided a list of supposed benefits, which included the reduction of chafing, supporting the wearer's chest and back, and assisting in the compression of enlarged male breasts. He also noted that some men chose to wear bras as an expression of their gender identity or sexuality. For unknown reasons, Chris shared his Brassieres for Males Facebook page with Colin and Shaina. Neither of them understood the purpose of the page, so Chris attempted to explain. You don't get why males should be top covered. Well, for one thing, I find their breasts simply horrific and vulgar, and the nipples do not help either. Second, a lot of males are going to end up with drooping B cup or bigger breasts anyway. Would you want those things flopping about while they're topless? I would not. Bletch. Third, there is a major thing called modesty. Not many people like show-offs. Ugh. Super seriously, those ugly, offensive, vulgar topless hides just give me really bad shivers and quakes, near enough to cause a freaking seizure. Colin suggested that Chris's hatred of topless men could be caused by repressed homosexuality, so Chris blocked his email. Due to Chris's recent behavior, Catherine was souring on their relationship. After calming down, Chris apologized in a YouTube video.
This is Christian Chandler of Ruckersville, Virginia. I'm recording this video because I have apologies to make. I want to apologize to Shaina, who was a good friend of mine, but not my girlfriend. Been helping me out and relaying details and whatnot amongst my sweetheart, another one of gal pals, and new man of the hour. Anyway, I beg to put it into pun. I've made an ass of myself. I'm making so many assumptions. Anyway, it all turned out very bad, especially for Catherine and me. I just been feeling really bad about that. Anyway, Catherine, you mean the world to me, sweetheart. You really do. Been going under a lot of my own stresses lately. Especially your response to everything. And I miss my father every day. It all hurts. My heart and soul, they want to you, Catherine. They really, I really do. I'm very sorry for all the mistakes I made. I can't stop loving you. Deep within my heart, I don't know all the lyrics, so I'll just sing from the bottom of my heart and the depths of my soul. I love you.
On October 11th, Colin and Chris engaged in a heated conversation over text message. Chris boasted about the numerous lesbians he planned on meeting later that day at a screening of the movie Wish Me Away. Colin doubted that many lesbians would be interested in him romantically on account of his penis. Chris replied, "My lesbian soul links better to them, and the ugly growth is easy to conceal under my skin. And satisfactory attributism is easy with a piercing on my taint where my clit is, city boy." Colin was unconvinced, so Chris resorted to insults. "You have no soul, Colin. You are shallow, and your forehead is so bald the sun could reflect off it and blind everyone in its shaded brown light. Blinded by poo light." After being accused of racism, Chris defended himself by listing off many of his favourite black celebrities, such as Fat Albert and Bill Cosby. Their argument continued the following day. Chris reiterated that he was not racist, pointing out that he hadn't used the N-word. Colin wondered if his male lesbianism was related to shame over the size of his penis. Chris claimed that he was well endowed, proudly sharing his ability to insert his penis into his anus as proof. On October 28th, Chris updated the Brassieres for Males Facebook group. "I was thinking more about modesty amongst the common male. Besides the fact that their top portions should still be covered to less offend those, including myself, who feel and have been feeling offended with topless male nudity. There is another amongst the common male that should still be considered more concealed from those sensitive to them as well. The bulge. The bulge definitely remains obvious even regardless of what kind of pants they wear. Even opaque leggings alone would not suffice to keep that covered up. I have found my own personal expression of my lesbian transgender sexuality that leggings and skirts together can better conceal the bulge. The skirt is more loose outwardly, so even if it becomes aroused, to use the term loosely, the bulge becomes less obvious to tell. Also, I like to hide my long, ugly growth beneath my taint, tucked between the skin and my underwear. This also helps in better being able to look down and not have to look at the darn thing. I'm not saying males have to wear skirts and leggings, but in the name of modesty, it would be beneficial, and you will be able to better feel the breeze of the air on your legs and lower region, which is good. And with the light chill getting there, you all may find better seed population growth there as well. Again, using the term loosely. By December, Chris's taint piercing had begun to migrate, so he re-pierced it himself, using a safety pin. His new Un-clit was made of real gold. Unfortunately for Chris, the new piercing was also rejected, as he explained to one of his gal pals. I have an update to just let you know. The patch of skin the jewelry was in was shrinking again. I have just removed the barbell and spheres. I'm giving up on that piercing now. At some point in early December, Catherine decided that she didn't want to be in a romantic relationship with Chris, but hoped to remain friends. The two agreed to meet once more, this time at a bowling alley. Cousin Al tagged along as a security measure. He shared their experience afterwards. Chris was always floating right around her, clingy as hell. He even tried giving Katie a goodnight kiss after she told him explicitly that they were just friends. Chris has no sense of personal space or boundaries. It's like she'll tell him to keep his distance, but the thought won't stay in his head for longer than 5 minutes, and then he's hovering too close again. I personally think that he's autistic and just doesn't gauge personal space well, but that's just my theory. Catherine elaborated. Chris wanted to kiss me after the second outing, which I adamantly declared was not a date, several times, which Chris refused to accept. And I said no. That's weird, that's creepy, we aren't dating. No. He asked for a hug instead, and I still said no because I said it felt uncomfortable since we weren't dating. So instead, he walked me to the car, and as I was getting in, he just half climbed in after me and hugged me really awkwardly, bent in half since I was sitting down, face down in my tits. His hair smells awful and his hairline is half back on his head. It was one of the many moments where I was so stunned I couldn't meaningfully react. Their breakup left Chris devastated. I'm seriously feeling like since not in a relationship was said about 5 PM, I was dangling at the end of a rope, and afterwards slowly falling into a fiery depth, my heart melting and drifting back into sadness, much like the melting Lego pieces in that fire last January. Now I am at the ice-cold bottom, and the melted heart is now a depressed, hard lump of melted loss in being dumped. I feel like I should not speak with you for a while. I'm depressed and my heart aches bad. You lack appreciation for the hard work and effort I put into us. After some back and forth, Catherine eventually replied, I'm really not understanding this behavior here, Christian. I appreciate you're feeling depressed with your situations right now, but it isn't my fault, and it isn't my responsibility to fix it. I had my cards on the table from the start. I thought we could be gal pals, but you just seem to want to use me and guilt me into a relationship with you. That's not okay, Chris. Relationships don't always work out how you dream they will. That's just how things are. Chris was reluctant to settle for a platonic relationship. Yes, we could be gal pals, but you have to also realize that I still have the ugly growth that if we were in bed, you could enjoy this near 7-incher damn. Relationships work best when both partners take it seriously. I have been serious about it. You are showing that you've been very lackadaisical and ignorant for a while now. And I do think I'm entitled in a true, valid relationship with a woman very much like you, because I need the love, and not only that, but I am of royalty in the Western bloodline. Right now, I am feeling tired, headachy, more depressed and sick of the blatant sarcasm and the ignorance you are showing, along with your bitchy ass. And my mother is not fond of you right now either. She called you common in your not wanting to be in a relationship with me. Stew in all of that for a long while.
At the tone, please record your message.
Hello, Colin. This is Christian Chandler again. I am not scared of you, you know. And I'll tell you, I refuse to call you, especially because you were being a bully to me. You keep pestering and annoying me. You certainly are, I've forgotten the word, pretentious. And I can tell you are quite the phony, and the way you have treated me, I'm certain that you're going to end up blowing your cover by showing your true colors in front of Catherine at the time you're there. And you know what? You can drop dead. So, whatever. Have a fair day.